Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdom of Chaos. This project here, my wife found at some antique run we made, some kind of Art Deco-ish thing. It is made to hold a globe, a gazing ball, or something like that. It's made out of cast iron. It's 3 mermaids. As you can see, it's pretty intricate, and my job is to de-rust this. You know, there's a lot to get into here with the wire wheel and the brush or whatever. So I'm going to the scientific method of rust removal, and that is turning this rust, which is iron oxide, into a, I think it turns it into a hydrogen molecule, and it takes the rust off. And how we're going to do that is a method called electrolysis, where we use anodes and cathode and a power supply into a solution of water and this stuff called washing soda. That is an electrolyte compound that what it does is, I think it just does something to boost the conductivity of the water or something like that. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do, and I'll show you the setup I have for that. This is going to be placed into a brute garbage pail, but not of sufficient height to cover the whole thing, so I'll have to do the bottom half first and then flip it over and then do the top half. Boob shot. Okay, here's my setup here. Standard 30-gallon brute pail. I've ringed it with 10-gauge copper wire. To the copper wire I have 2 pieces of sheet metal for anodes. It's good to have one on each side if you can. You want surface area as much as possible, so these have a pretty good surface area. You do not want to use stainless steel when you're doing this. Stainless steel gives off a very toxic, carcinogenic gas. Forgot the name of it, some kind of chromate, but it's really not good. So any non-stainless, this is just regular old ungalvanized sheet metal. Okay, so this will be filled about a little more than halfway with water. Like I said, I'm going to do this in stages. I'm going to do the bottom half first and then the top half. Now typically and ideally the power supply for a contraption like this is a battery charger, but you need the right kind of battery charger. A manual battery charger is what you need. The battery chargers that they market today have all kinds of safety shutoffs and microprocessors and controls, and they just don't work unless you modify them or whatever. If you have an old battery charger that's just a manual battery charger, that's the way to go. I don't have one. I looked around, I can't find one. I went to 6 or 7 stores, auto parts stores and Home Despots and whatever. And all of them have that circuitry in them. When it knows it's not connected to a battery, it doesn't supply any power. Anyway, I'm using a computer power supply. If you watch one of my other videos on etching knife blades, I use the computer power supply. It's 12 volt DC, 8.5 amp output, and what I've done is I've gotten all the yellow wires, which are 12 volt DC positive, and then all the ground wires, and I put them together so they carry. I just don't want 8 amps flowing through one All right, so I have 16 gallons of Wasser in there and 16 tablespoons of the washing soda, which I've stirred around a bit to help it dissolve. And this is good because it's just a little over halfway on the height of this piece, so I'll be able to just turn this over and de-rust this side. The negative or ground is hooked up to the piece, and the positive is hooked up to the anodes. But one of the most important things, and I think you could see it here, is that the anodes do not touch the workpiece. They don't touch it. Okay, you need separation there, or you just shorten everything out. So we'll plug things in and get her going. As you can see, our power supply is doing its thing, and you can also begin to see some bubble action coming off the anodes. Alright, this is a process that takes some time. I'm going to check this after about 2 or 3 hours and see how it's doing. Like I said, most of this rust is all surface rust anyway. It's just so intricate to be able to get into it to manually remove it. Now, one of the byproducts of this, they say, is hydrogen gas, which we all know is explosive and flammable. After a bit, I will open Jan's side door, even though it's colder than frick outside, to ventilate. And we'll keep this place ventilated while this process is going on. But doesn't seem to be anything melting down yet, so we will continue. Alright, it's only been about an hour, not even, and you could already see the rust that is being pulled off the metal, and it just floats on top. You could skim that stuff off because you could reuse a solution. Yeah, so we'll check it in a little bit. And for safety's sake and everything that's holy, guys, you know, shut the damn thing off before you start lifting it out or anything like that. You know, be safe. Disconnect it. Unplug it. Alright, so we'll see what it looks like in a little while. Okay, this is a test observation. After 2 hours, you can clearly see the rust is being removed. I mean, if you look at the beginning photograph, this was all rusted in here, and the rust is just coming off this thing. It's going to take a while. I would say probably about 12 hours in this. So I just wanted to see how it was coming along, and it's getting there. Okay, I did say I was going to show you when it's done. I just wanted to show something for contrast. This is a top that hasn't been in a solution yet, and now we're going towards the bottom. Look at that. Look at the difference. And that was just going over it lightly with the wire wheel after I pulled it out. This is in the solution for 12 hours. Just takes the rust off. The piece is, it's like night and day. So we turn her over and we give her another 12 hours. Here's a look at one of the metal anodes after we're done. Yeah, a little wire wheeling, and that could be used again. Good looking soup, huh? Okay. Here is the piece after it's finished. Came out real good. This is just one coat of a satin finish lacquer, or matte finish lacquer. Not a glossy one. It'll dry less glossy than it appears right now. But yeah, it came out very, very nice. The Mrs. is very pleased. She's going to get a multicolored glass gazing ball to go up here. She's going to put it in her, what she calls her mermaid room. And yeah, so that was kind of a fun project, and it came out actually better than I expected. So compare the before and afters. Easy process, just takes a little bit of time. Well, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.